Hello everybody, this is Vincent from Affiliate Theme.io, and this is the second video about widgets, but this time we're going to talk about the default WordPress widgets. So last time it was just about our custom ATIO widgets, and we're going to start with archives that comes by default. So we're going to add this to the general sidebar once again. Give it the title block archive. And we can still take two options here, which is display as dropdown or show post counts. Let's just keep it as default and go to our blog page. So here you can see that a blog archive was created, and it basically just gives you like a calendar and the corresponding post. So if you click June, you will get your June posts. If you click August, you'll get your posts in August. So let's just activate the two options here, display as dropdown and show post counts. So you're gonna see immediately what this means. It's pretty obvious. So first of all, here we can select the month. So this is a drop-down option, so we just select August and it redirects us here, and we have the same widget here, and you can see that on the right hand it just has a post count, so you can select or you can see how many posts in this month were actually published. So next let's add the audio widget to the general sidebar. We're going to put it on top. And obviously here you can insert an audio file, and well, it will display like an audio player. So let's just call it audio sample for now. And I'm gonna just upload a small sample MP3. Click add to widget. And we can actually also like edit the audio here, so you can still do some stuff here, but this is not really relevant for us. Let's just take a look at the output. So we click block. Once again, we have this little audio widget here, and you can see it actually plays the audio, and you can even control the volume. Next, let's add a calendar to our general sidebar. Once again, this is a pretty obvious widget. We go back to our sidebar in the blog, and we have a little calendar inserted, and you can even like switch back inside the calendar, and will display the corresponding posts. So let's move on. We still have the categories here. We're going to add them to the general sidebar again. Call it obviously categories, put it on top, and let's just keep the default options and take a look at the output. You can see that the categories we defined are now displayed. So those categories are the categories for posts. So we didn't define that many categories for posts yet, so we just have uncategorized and the gaming gadgets category. We can also say display as drop-down and show post counts. There could be a hierarchy, but as we don't have it, I'm not going to activate it. Let's just click this and refresh, and you can see, as I explained with the block archive, you have it now in a drop-down menu. This makes sense if you have like, I don't know, 100 different categories, and you also have the post count. So now let's add the custom HTML widget to our sidebar. So this is what it says. So first of all, we can give it a title. Let's just say custom HTML example, and you are inside your HTML editor. So here you can insert or just write plain HTML code, and you can see actually that this is an editor. So this is like a new feature of WordPress since the last version, if I'm not mistaken, that this is like a visual editor as you might have it on your computer. So for example, I just type P and it made a P element. We can say, hey there, comma, this is a p element, and let's just define a heading. Sorry. One, and this is our first h1 heading. So if you're familiar with HTML, this will help a lot. This is really like a sensible feature. Let's see if this worked out. We go to our sidebar again, and we can see first of all, this is obviously a p element. There's some padding and margin in between, and it recognized this as an h1 heading. So this is really an easy tool to insert HTML code. So next, let's insert a gallery to our general sidebar. First of all, let's give it the obvious title, gallery, and add some images. I'm just going to pick those. Click create new gallery, and just leave all options as default. Click save. Go to our front end, refresh, and you can see a little gallery is displayed here. So next, let's add a simple image to our general sidebar. So I just deleted the gallery because it was way too long. So let's call it sample image. It's the same mechanism, just with a single image. So let's just add it. And you can also see here, you can say link to. So if you click it, you should be directed to a certain page. So let's just say we want this to direct to our home page. So I'm just going to copy this link, insert it, click save, and see if this works. Refresh. Our gallery disappeared, but now we have our sample image. If we click it, we are directed to our homepage, so this works as well. So this was the sample image. Let's move on. Now we have the meta widget. Let's add it to our general sidebar. So now I already added it to the sidebar and gave it the title meta, and let's just take a look at the front end to understand it. So this is this little widget. This is usually sensible for blogs, so you can, for example, if you have an RSS feed, you can click here on the entries and the comments. You are directed to WordPress.org, so this also relates to the blog idea. If you are a user of this page, you can log out, and also this is like for the login link. This is a login link, so you can get to the back end here if you have a username and a password for this website. So next, let's add a navigation menu to our general sidebar. Call it menu. We're going to select the menu, in that case the main nav. So basically this just takes the created or existing menus from here and displays them in a sidebar. So it's also like sort of a table of contents. You can use it as you want. So you can see here now the same menu. So our main nav, as we defined our main navigation, is displayed here on the left side. So let's take a look at the next one, and this is pages. So let's just add it and give it the title pages. And we're just going to say sort by title, and we're not going to exclude anything yet. Let's just take a look again what this means in the front end, and you can see that now all our pages are displayed. So pages referring to those pages here, all pages you created in your backend. So for example, this is our home page. This was our old home page. We created a template for product comparison. So for this website, it doesn't really make sense, but I think for, well, I think other purposes it might be useful. Next, let's take a look at the recent comments widget. We're going to add it at the bottom of our general sidebar. Give it the title recent comments. save it, and obviously this is going to display the latest comments. Surprise. So well, we don't have any comments here, so let's just click one blog post. This is a test comment. Cheers. Let's just comment this. It's directly published. We go back to our blog, and you can say that I commented on blog post 8, and you can click it right away, and you are directed to the comment itself. So the next widget is recent posts. Let's add it to our general sidebar. Once again at the bottom, call it recent posts. Number of posts, let's just say 10. And let's activate display post date. We go back to our front end, refresh the page, and you can see that this is just a plain list of our posts, opposed to the category widget, for example, or the blog archive, where they are organized by category, or in this case by a calendar. So here you just have a plain list of posts. After recent posts, we have the RSS feed. I am going to add this, but obviously we don't have an RSS feed. If you had one, you could like insert your URL here, give it a title, and also define a few other options. So I'm just going to try if this works. It doesn't work because I don't have a valid RSS URL, but basically if you have one, it works the same as the other elements. You can also still display the item content, the author, and the item date. So all this information will be taken from the URL or the server you enter here. So if you have one, you can use this. Let's delete it for now. Next, let's add a search field to our general sidebar. So let's just drag and drop it to the top. Call it search here. Click save. Go back to our front and refresh, and we have this new widget here, and we can search for blog post 1, as I just see it there. And you can see that all related posts are displayed. And also you can see that we have different tabs here. So for example, product as well. So we don't have any kind of product of this kind, but we could, there's something like Samsung. And first of all, we have the all tab. So of course, also here are the products. And if we go to the product tab again, we will see this. And for posts, we should see nothing, right? But you can see that this is not only useful for your blog, but also for your affiliate pages, because people simply can search for products, and often this is an easier way for people to find something than scrolling through a page, because everybody is used to Google and search algorithms. So this is also a very useful feature. So the next widget is the tag cloud, something you probably saw already a lot of times in blogs. So I'm just going to add it at the bottom of our sidebar and call it, well, tag cloud. And we can, well, let's stick first to tags. I'm going to show you what this actually means. Let's scroll down and refresh. And you can see I defined some tags here, and they are just displayed like this. If you have like I don't know, 400 different tags, and usually this is the case for a blog, because tags are, you really give a lot of tags to one post, they will be displayed as a cloud. That's why it's called tag cloud. So I just have like 11 here, so it just looks like a boring list, but okay, that's the case for now. But interestingly enough, you can also choose, for example, one of our taxonomies we define. So let's just take manufacturer. click refresh, and then all our manufacturers are displayed. So you can see the size is changing and everything. So if you have like 300 different of them, this looks really cool. And you can also show the tag counts. Well, let's stick to manufacturers. Refresh, and then you can see we also have the like this post counter. Next, we can add a plain text field to our general sidebar, and we can just call it text example or give it the title text example. And here you just have the usual visual editor from WordPress, so you can, I don't know, make a list. First item, second item, third item, and save it. So this is really just a simple text field, and here you can also go inside the HTML editor. But if you're familiar with the HTML editor, just use the HTML code widget here, because it's way better than this. But like if you just want to use the visual editor, take the text widget. So at the top I added this, so we have text example and we just have this list of items. So last but not least, let's enter a video. So we're just gonna click add to the general sidebar, and I'm gonna drag and drop it to the top, right beneath our search bar, and open it, and we're gonna call it video example, and click add video. And we have two options here. First of all, we can insert it from our media library, or we use an external URL from, I don't know, YouTube or Vimeo, whatever. But let's start with a video from our library. So I'm just gonna insert a sample video, and it's displayed right away. I click save, I go back to the front end, and we can see that our video is displayed. We can make it full width and everything. So next, let's take a look at the other option of inserting, which is inserting from URLs. So here we still have our file we just inserted, but we can go to YouTube and simply add some video from our channel. So let's just take this one here and copy the URL, and we're going back to our WordPress backend, insert the URL, and you can see it already recognized the video. We click add to widget, it's right there. We click save, go back to our front end, refresh, and we can see that this was immediately inserted, and you have your YouTube video here. So it has to load a bit so you can see it in full quality, but still this is pretty practical.